Hello everybody and welcome to this very special episode of Brand Your Passion. I am excited to talk to you today about everything that you need to know about my new program and kind of give you the goss, let you in on all of the exciting little details and information that you might want to know, whether you are just nosy and want to know or you're interested in working with me and what that might look like. This is going to be pretty much the way to work with me going forward. So I wanted to tell you all about it, and because you are podcast listeners, you get all of the goodies. And it's just a great format for me to tell you all about it, give you all the details, tell you a little bit of behind the scenes, what led me to create this program and what it looks like and why I've made certain decisions and all of that sort of stuff, so that you can learn from it, maybe for your own services and products and all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, if you feel like you are called to work with me to help you on with your brand, then this could be the way to do that. Hello and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into something that people know and love you for. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand coach for creatives, and I'm on a mission to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. If you're ready to get more eyes on your work, more dollars in your pocket, and more creativity in your life, you're in the right place. Welcome. Let's brand your passion. So basically, to kick things off, I have launched the Next Level Creative. I pretty much soft launched it. So I promoted a private training that was offered to people who applied to join the Next Level Creative, and then they got to watch the training and then they could decide if they wanted to join. So I soft launched that, and now it is out in the world. So you can go and check it out right now if you are curious and you want to have a look before you even hear much about it. You can just head to thenextlevelcreative.com and you'll find all of the goodies in there that you need to know, and the application form is there if you feel like you want to join. But basically, the Next Level Creative is a 12-month mastermind, or branding lab as I like to call it, for artists and makers who are ready to take your creative business to the next level. And the reason that I called it the Next Level Creative, there are a few reasons, but obviously there are practical reasons. I had to make sure that it was available and on offer, and that the URL wasn't taken, and there weren't any trademarks or anything like that for the Next Level Creative. At the point that you are listening to this, I have applied for my trademark, so that is very exciting. I can use the little TM logo in the meantime, and then hopefully in about 6 months' time, because that's how long it takes to get a trademark, I will be able to use the R symbol for registered trademark. But I had to make sure that it was available and all of that good stuff. And if you weren't around for when I changed my business name, I talked a lot about the practical things about naming a business and getting a trademark. So I will link to those resources down below. I have a podcast episode where my friend interviewed me about the name change. I also was a guest on the ConvertKit podcast where I talked about renaming your business, and I also created resources on the podcast and the blog about naming your business, how you know it's time to rename a business, and how to go about getting a trademark. So if you're interested in all of that, you can do that. So basically, I had to find a name that was available and appropriate. And I also have heard Next Level. Obviously, it's a very common idiom or phrase that people use, like taking something to the next level, or when something is next level. I had a testimonial from Carly. Hi Carly, if you are listening, who I did a coaching session with, and Carly said that in the boom of coaching services, it can be a little intimidating to find a person to help you, but I truly feel Holly's one of the good ones who's capable of bringing people to the next level in whatever they're trying to do. Maybe it's years of experience, maybe it's a natural talent, maybe it is both. So that kind of re-inspired the Next Level Creative name when I realized that that's how someone had described me, or what I help people do was really inspiring. And I just found the definition. So the dictionary definition is to improve something that's already successful. And that really ties into my whole philosophy or approach or belief about branding and about what I do helping creative businesses is that you are already amazing. The work that you do is already incredible. You're already working really hard to be creative and to improve your work and share your work and get it out in the world and all of that stuff. And you already have this innate magic inside of you for just being you and for being creative and for having the moxie to share that with the world and put it out so that other people can see it. And so my whole thing is not about making you different or changing who you are or anything like that, or making you pretend to be something you're not. It's just about helping you uncover what is already magical about you and elevating it or taking it to the next level, or making sure that people can see it and understand it, and then they can fall in love with it and they can get on board with all your magic. So this kind of idea of the next level being to improve something that's already successful is perfect, because you're already successful. You already are an amazing creative. You've already been making incredible work. You have everything you need to grow your business. It's all just down to how you bring it together strategically to share your magic with the world. AKA, it's all down to how you brand your passion. So that was perfect also. And then I also massively believe, and it is my philosophy and my brand strategy, is all about brands built for you. Your next level is completely unique to you. I didn't want to name my business something like the 10K artist or the full-time creative or anything like that, because your next level is unique to you. And it's just not my style to come in and tell you that you need to be making X amount of money or getting X amount of brand collaborations or posting X times a week to be successful. That's up to you. Your success is what success means to you, and your next level is whatever you want your next level to be. It could be just starting your business. It could be going full time. It could be getting your first commission. Whatever it is, that next level is down to you. It's not down to me. I just want to help you get to whatever your next level is, and I don't want to dictate what that next level is. So the Next Level Creative name is great because it's not a prescription for what your next level should be. So that also fits perfectly. And I just think it sounds cool. It's memorable. It makes a lot of sense. It speaks to creatives. It does all the things that a good brand name should do. So that, in that sense, it works perfectly. So I have the name, but why did I create this whole thing? Well, basically, my vision has always been to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time, because I wholeheartedly believe in the fact that creativity is what the world needs. The world needs more creativity always. We need more creativity personally. As creatives, we need to be able to use our creativity and express our imagination. And what I describe creativity as is like breathing for me. I have to be creative. Otherwise, I'm not being myself and I don't feel alive. So we personally need that creativity, but we also need creativity in our communities to bring people together. We need it in our society so that we can start discussions or make people feel comforted or entertained or like they belong, or all of these amazing things that creativity does. The world needs more creativity. Everything that people enjoy a lot of the time is creativity, whether that's music or art or poetry or reading or galleries or sculptures or TV or movies or whatever. All of that is creativity, right? So my whole thing is that the world needs more creativity, and I want to help make that happen by helping creatives to build their brand so that they can create more art, they can make a living doing what they love, they can build communities of fans who love and support them and value their work, and then the industry will value their work more, the world will value their work more, just as a win-win. And that's my whole vision, right? So my whole mission is helping creatives succeed in whatever their vision is, whatever their next level is, by helping them with branding, because that is my zone of genius. And my particular zone of genius is that I'm not just a brand designer. I'm not just a brand strategist. I have this really amazing, if I can brag about myself for a little moment, this amazing big picture strength. My strength, my zone of genius is being able to see the big picture and how everything connects together. So I can see how your brand strategy connects to your design and impacts that, which then influences your marketing, and then how you need to set up your systems and your operations to be able to make everything work. So even though I'm a very strong brand strategist, I had a very accomplished career as a designer, I am, good at marketing and I understand how that all works. I'm also a nerd about systems and processes and marketing, but what I'm really good at is how all of that stuff works together. So I struggle just thinking about the design or just thinking about the strategy even. My brain has to figure out how all of that stuff works together. What I have done in the past is I've had services or experiences working with me that have focused on just those individual pieces of the puzzle. But what I really wanted to create was an experience where I could share my approach and my zone of genius and help creatives to also build this big picture approach to their brand. So instead of just working on the design and wondering why it's not working, or trying to market something and it not reaching the right people and then not having the system so it all falls apart, instead of those things happening, you have this really strategic, intentional approach that covers your whole brand from start to finish, and that gives you a framework to use to continually take your business to the next level with a brand that is strategic, it's designed well, it's marketed really well, it has all the systems behind it, and it all works together in this amazing puzzle that comes together to create this beautiful picture. I also know that a lot of artists and creators like you can do a lot of the work yourself. You're not necessarily going to hire a brand designer because you can design things. You are an artist, you are a maker, you are a creative in some way. So chances are you can create a lot of that stuff yourself. So you might not be thinking about hiring someone, but you do just need someone to guide you, get different perspectives. You want someone you can run stuff by. You want to be able to stay accountable so that you keep moving forward. You just need a coach and a best friend and a supporter and a cheerleader who can be by your side all the time so that you are not doing things alone. You are not feeling stuck. You don't know where to go next. All of that stuff doesn't happen because you have me and your fellow creatives on your side, in your corner, in your back pocket that you can talk to, ask questions, get advice, get feedback, all of that stuff to make sure that you can always find a solution or move forward or do whatever you need to do to be able to take your brand to the next level and your business move forward. You also don't always want to invest like tens of thousands of dollars to hire a brand strategist and a designer and a marketing person and an operations manager or all of these different people, because one, that's overwhelming, and two, that can turn into a really big investment. And obviously as an artist, as a maker, you have materials to buy, inventory to invest in, markets to apply for stalls at, all of that stuff that also costs money. And so while it obviously is an investment to work with me, it's not as big of an investment as it would be to hire me or someone else one-on-one to be able to do those things. I always want to make things accessible to people who are wanting to DIY things so that I can show you that that is okay. It's okay to DIY your brand and you can completely create amazing things doing it that way. And also for people who don't have tens of thousands of dollars to invest in that. And we also need community, I believe, now more than ever. It's always been inherently kind of lonely and isolating being a creative, and I have experienced that myself. I've tried working in shared studios and stuff like that, and I've always been someone who wants to bring people together. I was the Wellington host of Design Assembly, which ran events for the creative community and created resources and stuff. I did that for a few years, and that was amazing, bringing people together locally. I've run in-person workshops before that brings creatives together. I've done a lot of collaborations on Instagram. I did a series for a while where I brought a lot lot of branding experts together to provide content and information for people about branding. So those are just a few ways that I love creating community. And it's just a huge part of what I am passionate about. I love facilitating a place and a space that is safe and warm and welcoming and useful for creatives to do that. So that's a huge part of the Next Level Creative too, is how can we create a space that's just for creatives? You can come and feel understood and connected and not alone and welcomed and supported and all of that stuff that we need as creatives. And like, the cool thing about the Next Level Creative too is I'm an introvert and I have to manage my social battery and my energy, and in-person events and stuff like that can be too much for me as an introvert. I love them, but then I have to go sleep alone for a while afterwards. And so an online community is awesome because you can engage however little, however much you want to, in whatever way that you want to. And so that's a huge part of it too for me. Connected to that is I'm also chronically ill. You might have heard me talk about it or mention it in a few different places online, but I've always suffered with migraine and endometriosis and a bunch of other chronic illnesses. So that was already kind of something I had to manage in my day-to-day life. But last year I got concussed. It's a long, stupid story, but I got concussed, and then since then have had these vestibular migraine attacks as well, which just have taken my chronic illness to a whole new level. When I got concussed, I couldn't work at all for like 3 months. And then since then, my capacity has been greatly reduced and greatly changed. I can still work, but I'm taking into account how I work and when I work and where I work and all of that good stuff. And I know that a lot of you, from talking to you and meeting you and learning about you in your life, there are a lot of people in my community who are also chronically ill or disabled or divergent and just have things going on that mean that we have to be careful about our energy and how we consume things and how we engage in things and all of that stuff. So I'm sure you can understand this, but it's made me reevaluate where and how I spend my energy. And so I want to be able to still deliver like amazing value for creatives and help you in any and all ways that I can, to be able to support you and use my expertise and live in my zone of genius, but just in a way that's way more manageable for me. So right now, live one-on-one things are not the most efficient or best way for me to care for myself because I can't always show up live because I might get a migraine attack and I might not be able to show up, or I just am having a no spoons day. Like, I've used all of my spoons and so that's over. And I want to be able to show up for you to be able to deliver the best value, and the way I can do that is by helping you in a way that also works for me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that will work in the Next Level Creative, but it's a benefit for you also because it means that you can show up however works for you, and you can consume however and wherever and whenever works for you. And we can all get what we need out of this experience in a very approachable, accessible, lovely way, where we all get to create and care for ourselves. And that's the goal. So there's a few of the reasons why I created the Next Level Creative, and also just from a strategic perspective, if you're interested in that behind the scenes. So I have run Map Your Brand Magic, which was basically a live brand strategy program that changed between 8 and 12 weeks. And that has now become the first course within the Next Level Creative. So instead of just having the Map Your Brand Magic, it's now a part of the Next Level Creative, one of 4 parts. And yeah, that is just a lot more strategic for me to be able to, like I said, offer the whole big picture for everybody, but then I can also bring in the resources I've created and other courses that I'm going to create, and then I can also offer those individually outside of the Next Level Creative for people who maybe aren't ready for the Next Level Creative. So I have this suite of options for people to meet you wherever you are at. So that's pretty much why I created it. Let's now talk about what is included. So I just mentioned to you that the Next Level Creative curriculum is the basis of the whole thing, and it is based off my Next Level Creative method, which if you apply to join at thenextlevelcreative.com, you will get to watch a private training just for people who apply, which explains this method and framework in full detail. But basically, that framework informs the curriculum of the Next Level Creative. So the first course for that is Map Your Brand Magic, and then there are 3 more courses that are self-paced, so you can do them however quickly or slowly that you want to, and you have trainings to watch, interactive tools to use, resources, guides, a whole bunch of stuff to help you work through that curriculum. There are 4 courses in total. Then we have the complete Maker and Moxie bank of resources. So literally everything that is on my Maker and Moxie shop right now and potentially will be in the future, you get all of that. Every Notion template, every PDF guide I've ever written, every worksheet I've written, like any of those things, you get all of that, and we'll continue to get all of that while you are in the Next Level Creative. You also get a library of inspiration and examples. So there are countless amazing examples of brand strategy, design, marketing things, all of the examples that you could ever need for when you're feeling stuck or you want to just see how someone else is doing it to like get your creative juices flowing. You have a library of incredible high standard inspiration and examples so that you can aspire to those things, which is awesome. Then we have asynchronous Q&A. So you can ask me any question that you have as you are working through the curriculum, or you're just trying to run your business or create your brand in any kind of way, or market your brand or scale your brand or any of those things. You can ask me any question anytime. And then inside the Next Level Creative, I will answer those questions via audio and written transcript of the audio, which I will then publish as a private podcast feed. So that will become a searchable database of answers, which is a really efficient and effective way for you to get your questions answered, because in a lot of programs you might have to go to a 2-hour long Q&A session. You might not get your question answered, or if you do, it's right at the end and it might be rushed, or all of that kind of stuff. Or if you can't make it, you have to scrub through a replay recording to find the answer to your question, and you end up watching and listening to a bunch of answers to questions that aren't really relevant for you right now or for what you're working on. So what this asynchronous Q&A private podcast feed does is makes it very direct and efficient, and it respects your time. So say you have a question like, okay, Holly, I'm not sure how I choose between like Pinterest and Google for my SEO. And I can then record an answer that's like how to decide where to focus when it comes to SEO. And then I will publish that on the podcast feed within the Next Level Creative. And then you can get that answer and then say, you didn't even answer that question, but you start thinking about your SEO. You can go to the feed, search SEO, and you'll be like, oh, awesome. Holly's already answered a question and given her expertise and advice and opinions on SEO and how to choose where to focus your attention. And so it's really awesome and amazing and effective and a really easy way for you to get answers and move forward, like I said, so you never feel stuck with whatever you're working on. When it comes to this asynchronous Q&A, you can get your very specific questions answered and get the answers and opinions that I've never shared anywhere else. And then you'll get access to the whole library of those answers when everybody else is asking questions and getting them answered too. So it's really effective and awesome that way. On top of those, you'll also get quarterly and annual planning sessions. So these are sessions that I have run in person here in Wellington, where I live, and they have been incredible. Like, people love them, and I know that you are going to love them too, and the reason that people love them is because creatives are not always the most organized of people. And this is another thing that's part of my zone of genius, is that yes, I'm creative, but I'm also very logical and strategic and organized. So what I bring to the table is an awesome structure and system for reviewing and planning and making progress. So in these quarterly and annual planning sessions, people who came to them in Wellington have always been like, when are you bringing them back? I need to go to these. I feel really lost without them because I'm so bad at organizing my life and my business, and I need you to help me do that. So they are coming back, but only in the Next Level Creative. So every quarter and then annually also, we are going to review the last quarter together, celebrate some wins, uncover some lessons, look at all our numbers and all of that good stuff, and then make a plan of attack for the next quarter or the next year so that you can like check in, get some accountability, because we'll all be talking about where we're at and what we've worked on and all of that stuff. And then also make sure that you are moving forward and you are working towards taking your business and your brand to the next level and making progress. And we can all help each other do that together. There will also be guest AMA days, so that's guest ask me anything days. So say we all want to learn about LinkedIn. What I'll do is bring in a LinkedIn expert that will be in the community for a day, answering all of your questions, similar to how you can ask me a question anytime. They will be in there for a certain day or a certain couple of days, and then you will be able to ask and get answered all of your questions about their area of expertise. So that's going to be, again, really valuable at the time, but also really valuable later. Say you're not worried about LinkedIn right now, but in 6 months' time, you think, okay, I'm going to start posting on LinkedIn. Let me look in the Next Level Creative and see what I can learn. There's going to be this whole database of information about that topic that you can learn from. So that's super exciting. You also will get personalized feedback on your work as you are working through things. So say you have gone through the first section of Map Your Brand Magic, the first course, and you have written your vision. You can submit that vision and share it with me and your fellow creatives if you want to do that too. And I can give you my feedback. So I can write notes or give ideas or examples or things to move you forward or give you things to think about based on like my expertise, right? So you can get your stuff looked at by someone who is a branding nerd and knows what works and has done a bunch of branding stuff. So instead of, you know how sometimes if you looked at something for so long on your own, it stops making sense and you can't tell if it's good anymore. This is the best place because you won't experience that. You'll just be able to share it with me or with your fellow creatives, and you can get the advice and feedback and thoughts on it that you need to be able to move forward. So that's super awesome. And lastly, you will also get bonus trainings and resources. So every now and then, if there is a new topic or something that I realize is missing or that I think would be really useful for you or that I'm creating for some other reason, you will get access to all of that too. So I might decide, okay, thing that's top of mind right now, Twitter is falling apart yet again. So I might host a training on what to do instead of Twitter, right? And then I'll record that and share it with you, and you have access to that as a bonus training. So that's awesome. And obviously you get access to an awesome community of your fellow creatives who are all also trying to take their business and their brand to the next level. So it's going to be, and it is, a really exciting place to be. It's very motivating and inspiring, and like I said before, just welcoming and a nice place to be and a safe place to just be you and your amazing creative self. So that's all the things that are included. I massively believe you are not going to find another branding program or experience that's as comprehensive and customizable as this one. Like I said, there might be an experience or a service or whatever that's just about your design or that's just about your marketing, but this will give you the whole picture and help you build a strategy and share your work and show it off and scale it in a way that all works together to help you continually take your brand and your business to the next level. And it's super customizable because how I approach everything, like I said at the beginning, is not you have to do Instagram or you need to be recording reels or you need to do your design this certain way, or if you don't have this part of your strategy, it's all going to fall apart. That is not my way of doing things. What I'm doing is teaching you and guiding you to find and create solutions that work for you, and to design a brand and a business that aligns with who you are and what you're doing and what your goals are and all of that good stuff. So whether you want to create reels, I can help you do that, and we can figure out a strategy for that. If you want to be on LinkedIn, we can do that. If you want to design your brand a certain way, we can figure it out. There is always, always, always a solution, and we can always make things work for you. So that's how the Next Level Creative works. It's not like there's one way to do things and it's my way and you have to do it, and if not, you fail. It's not like that at all. And this is all original, experienced information that comes from my experience creating, growing, and scaling multiple brands, including many of my own and those of other creatives. And like I said, even though you can get some resources and courses separately of my own or other people's, I truly believe in the magic of them working together as a system. And it works together like a flywheel, that instead of you doing all these things individually and trying to have 8 arms, you can just have one arm move this wheel around that's set up and strategically, intentionally created to keep things moving and keep you continually taking your business to the next level. And as I said earlier, if you apply and then you can watch the private training, it will teach you exactly what that process is and what that framework is and how it all works together. So let's talk quickly about who this is for. So the Next Level Creative is for creatives, primarily artists and makers, but also designers, writers, photographers. If you're making or creating something in any way, you are welcome in the Next Level Creative. It's for people who are not necessarily looking for a magic bullet. It's not about quick solutions or one size fits all options that are going to make you go viral and all of that stuff. You know that there are nuances, there's different situations, different approaches that are going to work for you, that might not work for someone else, that might not work for the next person, but we're going to work out a way that works for you. And you don't want someone to just tell you what to do, because that's not what is going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to teach you how to make these decisions for yourself to be able to build a brand and a business that works for you. I will definitely share my opinions and my strategic thoughts and advice and feedback and help you, but you're not looking for me to say, do this, make this decision, do this, do this. Like I said before, it's like, okay, what's going to work for you and how can we work together? How can I support you to be able to make that work? You're a busy person, you're a creative with a lot going on. As individual creatives, we wear many hats. So you don't necessarily want to be on a million Zoom calls or waiting around to get your question answered or any of that kind of stuff. You just want to dive in, see some progress, get your questions answered, and move forward. In this process, I really want you to also make things your own, use your creativity, and do what's right for you, even if that means not following my process step by step. Yes, I'm going to give you the process. Yes, I'm going to guide you through that process. But if you decide, oh, actually that's not super relevant for me, or I have this other idea, or I'm going to try this, like I said, let's figure it out together. We will make it work, and I'll support you in everything that you are doing. So that's who it's for, and it's for you if you know that you're ready to take your creative business to the next level. If you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I have a vision, I have goals, I know my work is good, I just need to have the strategy and the support and the systems and the community and a little bit of nudging along and cheerleading to just make this freaking thing happen already and to start making progress and seeing that success that I dream of, whatever that success is for you, see it start coming to reality and coming to fruition. So if that's you, then the Next Level Creative is for you. Some frequently asked questions. Again, I mentioned no Zoom. The only time we'll have live calls is for the quarterly and annual planning sessions, and then some quick milestone calls when you do reach certain milestones. So those are very infrequent and not required. You will never miss out on something if you cannot come to those things live. I will always provide you instructions or resources or replays or whatever it is that means that you won't miss out on things. So Zoom isn't happening because it's not the most efficient form, like I said, to support you right now. I don't want you to sit there through stuff that's not relevant for you right now or anything like that. I want you to be able to get what you need and move on and start making progress. And we've all experienced Zoom fatigue. We don't need more Zoom calls. It's not necessarily or helpful or anything like that. People also learn in different ways, so Zoom isn't always the best way. You might prefer listening to my answer while you're doing something else, or you might want to read an answer or watch a video or see a diagram. Zoom isn't going to be the best way for everybody, so I'm going to be providing lots of other ways that you can learn and get your questions answered and all of that good stuff. And as I mentioned at the beginning about like my own story, we all have different circumstances and situations. Whether you are chronically ill, whether you are neurodivergent, whether you have kids, whether you're in a completely different time zone to me, that can make live Zoom calls really difficult and make you feel like you're missing out if you can't come to them. So this more asynchronous approach is great because it means that no matter what your circumstances or what your situation, you will never miss out. And if you ever do feel like you are missing out, like talk to me and I'll fix it and we'll come up with a solution that means you won't miss out. But I'm designing things very intentionally to make sure that nobody misses out. Everybody gets what they need. Everybody gets the answers and support and feedback that they need to be able to move forward in the way that works for them. And again, I can deliver the best support for you when I can respond and reply when I'm feeling the best, when I've got the most energy, when I can give you my full brain power, as opposed to if I have to show up live even when I've got a migraine or whatever the heck is going on. It doesn't matter. So I can show up and give you the best of me, and then you will get the best out of the experience without having to be on Zoom when we don't feel like it. So yeah, that's why no Zoom. Other questions is, what do I get access to when I join? You get access to everything. And when does it start? As soon as you join. It's open right now, so you can apply right now. I can accept you if I think we're going to be a great fit, and I can help you with your business. You can watch the private training and you can be in there in an hour. So if that sounds good to you and you're ready to dive into this stuff and start working on how you can take your business to the next level, then like I said, go to thenextlevelcreative.com and fill in the application. Other questions, obviously pricing. So right now the price is $3,000 US or $250 US a month for 12 months, and you get access for 12 months. So this is not lifetime access or 8-week access, it's a whole year. So you get a whole year to work on every aspect of your brand with me by your side, with your fellow creators by your side for a whole 12 months in your pocket. So think about where you could be this time next year if we work together, work on your brand, you get feedback on everything you're doing, you're taking intentional action and being really strategic about your business and working on your goals and taking this shit seriously so that you can take your creative business to the next level. So as I said, it will cost a lot more to work with me one-on-one. 3 months of working with me one-on-one is $5,000 US. So if you worked with me one-on-one for a year, that's $20,000. So $3,000 is a steal. And you get access to so much. Like I said, the curriculum, the resources, the community, the feedback, the Q&A, the guest stuff. It's really going to be well worth the value. So yeah, that's it pretty much. I think I've answered all of those questions. If you have any further questions, you can DM me anytime on Instagram or Twitter at Maker and Moxie, or you can email me hello@makerandmoxie.com, and I will answer any and all of your questions. We can figure out whether it's a good fit for you or not. If it's not a good fit for you, that's fine too. I'm not going to be offended. I can help you find some different solutions, whether that's other things I have to offer or other people that I think would be a better fit for you. The application is no obligation. Once you've applied, you do not have to enroll. It's just so that I can give you information and figure out if it's going to suit you or help you. You can watch then the private training that tells you more about the framework and everything behind the Next Level Creative, and then you can decide, do you want to enroll? Do you want to join? Do you want to say yes and start taking your business to the next level with me? So yeah, no obligation, no offense if you decide not to join, that's okay too. Thank you for listening to me chat about the Next Level Creative. I am so excited about this. I cannot explain to you. I've never felt more confident in what I'm teaching and how I'm teaching it and how I'm supporting creatives and how it's contributing to my vision of making the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. I'm so happy and so excited, and I know that I'm in the right place, and I know that it will be the right place for some of you listening. So thanks for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me in any way up until this point and any way you might in the future. I'm just so grateful, and I can't wait to work with more of you on taking your creative business to the next level. So as I said, go to thenextlevelcreative.com, get your application in now, and I hope to see you there soon. Bye everyone. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Brand Your Passion and choosing to spend time with me learning all about branding, business, and all things creativity. You can find more episodes just like this one at makerandmoxie.com/podcast. If you like this one, you can tap that subscribe or follow button so that you're notified about each and every new episode. And if you've got a spare second, please leave a review on iTunes or wherever it is that you're listening to this podcast, because I would absolutely 100% love to hear from you. If there were some helpful goodies in this episode for you, it would mean the world to me as well if you could screenshot that podcast player right now, hop on over to Instagram or Twitter and tag us at Maker and Moxie. By subscribing, reviewing, and sharing, you're helping reach more creators just like you, so that together we can make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. We can't achieve this mission without you, so your support means the absolute world. I will talk to you in the next episode, but until then, keep creating.